Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. First of all, let me apologize. The lighting is even worse than usual tonight, and I got some things going in here trying to make it seem not so bad, but I don't think it's working. So, anyway, forgive me for that. Before we get down to the purpose of the video tonight, is to shout out the newest members of the channel. I want to say thank you to Jameson Rome, who joined MVP, Straight Fighter, who did also, KB Kev Magic, who rejoined MVP, Jay Outis, who rejoined, Sheila Yunt, who rejoined, and BR54, who rejoined. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all MVPs, legends, GOATs, and rookies. And also make sure you check the when you click the join button, check the perks there. And everyone who's never clicked the button, do so. But be checking it in the next couple days, because I'm going to shift some things around and remove some things and replace them, etc. So appreciate all of the support. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. That too is much appreciated. Okay, let's get down to what this video was about. 88,000. I'm just throwing that number out. When I throw that number out, 88,000, does it speak to you at all? Does it remind you of anything? Does anything come to mind? 88,000. You might say, well, it's not that far from 90,000. Or you might say it's a little ways from 85,000, 88,000. Okay. Doesn't seem too significant until you think about the fact that 88,000 divided by 4 is 22,000. And that's how much the Caitlin Clark Foundation gave to 4 charities that mean a lot to her. $22,000 each to 4 charities in Iowa. What are those 4 charities? Glad you asked. Keith Murphy is the sports director of WHO 13, WHO 13, if you prefer it that way. And he posted on X, as the University of Iowa readies to retire Caitlin Clark's number 22, Caitlin delivers a sweet assist for $22,000 grants to local nonprofits. And over here, you get to see this release, this press release, I assume. It lets us know that the 4 charities Caitlin Clark, her foundation, has donated are the University of Iowa Children's Hospital, Corralville Community Food Pantry, Boys and Girls Club of the Corridor, and Special Olympics Iowa East Central. And here's a quote from Caitlin. One of my favorite things about Iowa City is the way the community is connected and how everyone supports each other. It is something I felt during my time here and is important to me that I stay connected with. I am proud to be a part of each of these organizations' efforts and the meaningful impact they provide for the people of Iowa, said Clark. Now, it also tells us here that she has previously engaged with the 4 organizations, sometimes providing donations, participating in events and fundraising efforts, visiting the Children's Hospital, one of her favorite activities as a student athlete. And I did a video also of her at the Children's Hospital. Apparently, that's something that really is special to her heart and something she does quite a bit. Now, the president of Caitlin's foundation, Mary Coffin, she said, the foundation is thrilled to support these organizations given their alignment with our mission statement and the 3 core pillars. And I'll get to that in a moment, what the pillars are down here at the bottom. But it goes on to say, Caitlin is an example for all of us of the impact one interaction can have and the legacy of uplifting others. These grants come ahead of Clark's number 22 jersey retirement ceremony at the University at the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball game against USC on February 2nd, which is this Sunday. I'm going to say more about that in a moment because there has been a change there. Okay, about the foundation. I'm just going to skip down here to the mission. Her foundation's mission is to uplift and improve the lives of youth and their communities through education, nutrition, and sports. 3 pillars Caitlin believes were foundational in her success. So when I say $88,000, just by itself just sounds like a random number, but it represents 4 organizations that will be blessed with you get it, $22,000 each to continue to advance their missions. One of the beautiful things I can imagine of having money to give, or really even time to give, or any kind of resources to give when you are abundant in it, one of the huge blessings, probably the biggest blessing, is that you get to give it away. And when you find people, whether it's Caitlin Clark or other athletes, or whether it's your neighbor down the street, whatever, an actor, movie star, your pastor, whoever, there's the joy that they have when they have, and they don't hoard, but they're willing to release it, open their hands, be generous, and give it out. You guys know that one of the things I say here all the time is God bless you abundantly. And we will find in life, as we continue to live out our days and our years, one of the main ways God blesses other people is through us. Very often, I mean, God does things on his own too, but very often that God bless you abundantly means that God will use me to bless other people. And obviously in this case, Caitlin Clark has been a blessing and has been used by God to be a blessing to these 4 charities. And obviously, I'm sure she does things beyond that. Now, about that jersey retirement, that was supposed to be before the game that Iowa will play at home against USC. But I heard today that that's been changed, that game will now be after the game on Sunday, February 2nd, 2-2. There's a theme here, right? So now that's going to be after the game. And I don't know why. If you know, feel free to put it in the comments. I haven't heard why. And my guess, it could be one of 2 things. One thing is that one of the things I've noticed over years, I'm not talking about a jersey retirement, but let's say a team like someone in the NBA won the championship the year before, and now it's time for the ring ceremony, and they have it before the game. Very often the team ends up losing. And sometimes it's the emotion of it all, and you're not focused on the game you're about to play. And so you have this big old celebration, and then you end up losing the game because some are emotional, some are just not focused, etc. So maybe they don't want to do it before game Iowa has to play, because this is Iowa. This is Caitlin's home. These are going to be her coaches are going to be there, etc. And some players she played with. So maybe they don't want to do that. But also the second thing I think is a possibility is that if you're doing it before the game, you're on a really strict schedule because the game has to tip off when the game has to tip off. But if you move it to the end of the game, you have more time and you can really celebrate her. I don't know. I'm just guessing. All I know is that that's what I've heard. Now, I also want to say, make sure you check the time for the game because I've seen a few things out there. First, it was going to be at, I think they said 1:30 Eastern at one point. And then I read something that said 10:30 Eastern. That can't be right. Right. And then I saw, I don't know. I saw 12. I saw like 12:30. I don't know. There's a bunch of times out there. So make sure you do your due diligence to know what time it all goes down. That should be an interesting game. USC in Iowa against Iowa, and then Caitlin's jersey retirement. So there you have it. 88,000. is not some random number divided by 4. And that's what Caitlin has given to 4 local charities that mean a lot to her. God bless you abundantly.